Have you ever stopped to think about how much history can be hiding in just a single, simple gesture? Well, today we're going deep on an ancient Japanese ritual. It looks so simple, but believe me, it holds thousands of years of meaning. And it all starts with just one spark. Just look at this. Someone strikes two stones together, and for a split second, you get this shower of sparks. But this is so much more than just, making fire. This single, tiny action is the key to a story that travels all the way from ancient Persia to modern-day Tokyo. So the big question we're asking is this: what history is actually hidden inside that single spark? Well, it all starts with one word, kiribi. The characters literally mean cut and fire, so you can translate it as cutting fire. And that's exactly what it is, the ritual of striking flint and steel. But crucially, it's not always about lighting a flame. It's about generating those sparks for two really ancient purposes: purification and protection. Okay, so to really get this, we gotta rewind the clock. I mean, way back, to a time before Buddhism even arrived in Japan. We're gonna trace the oldest layer of what this ritual means, and that's rooted deep in Japan's original spiritual tradition, Shinto. Now, get this. One of the first times we see this written down is in this ancient chronicle from the year 720 called the Nihon Shoki. In it, there's a story about a prince, Yamato Takaro, who's given a flint pouch before he heads out on a super dangerous mission. And just like the story goes, the sparks he makes literally save his life. This right here, this establishes the deepest, oldest meaning of kiribi. It's a protective charm, a shield against danger. And this whole idea of protection, it plugs right into a bigger Shinto concept called hare, which is all about ritual purification. See, in Shinto, things like water, salt, and yep fire are used to cleanse what's called kigare. And kigare is this kind of spiritual impurity or defilement. It can be anything from just bad luck to actual illness. So the fire from kiribi is seen as this really powerful way to clear the air, both literally and spiritually. And when you lay it all out, you can really see what an incredible journey this little ritual has been on. I mean, the whole idea of fire being pure, that has roots that might go all the way back to Zoroastrianism in ancient Persia. It finds its way to Japan, gets recorded in these ancient texts, and then around the 9th century, these mountain ascetics called yamabushi start spreading it among everyday people. And now, today, you can still see it being done for people setting off on a journey, for new businesses, all sorts of ceremonies. But hang on, the story doesn't end there. Not even close. Because when Buddhism arrived in Japan, it didn't just replace this old ritual. No way. It added this profound, brand new layer of meaning, completely transforming the idea of what that fire even was. So in esoteric Buddhism, you have the Goma fire ritual. This practice has its own ancient roots, but in this context, the fire gets a total rebrand. It's not just for cleaning up external bad vibes anymore. Here, the fire actually embodies the purifying wisdom of the Buddha. And this is where you can see the big shift, right? On one hand, you have the Shinto and folk practice, which is all about the outside world, clearing away bad luck, getting rid of impurity. But on the other hand, esoteric Buddhism flips the script and turns the focus inward. The fire becomes about transformation, about burning away our own internal junk, like ignorance and destructive desires. And to make this idea really stick, the flames are often linked to this super powerful deity, Fudomayo-o, the immovable one. You've probably seen him. He's always surrounded by fire. And those flames, they represent the Buddha's wisdom, and they're there to incinerate the very things that cause us to suffer. So the fire goes from being a protective shield to a transformative weapon against our inner demons. And that brings us to what might be the most mind-blowing layer of all, which comes from a 13th century Buddhist monk named Nichiren. He took this physical act of striking a stone and turned it into this incredible metaphor for our own hidden potential. Nichiren wrote this, and it's just so powerful. The Buddha also stays in our minds. It is like the fire that exists within a flint. The point he's making here is absolutely huge. Just like fire is already there, hidden inside the stone, our own enlightened nature, our Buddha nature, is already inside of us, even when we can't see it. It's latent. So with this one idea, the simple gesture of kirikibi suddenly becomes this massive ritual performance of a core Buddhist belief. The act of striking the flint, that's the practice. That's the cause that lets what's hidden inside, our potential, burst out and become visible, just like that spark. And he doesn't stop there. He takes the metaphor even further. He says, you cannot strike fire from flint if you stop halfway. So now the flint isn't just a symbol for our potential, it's a lesson in perseverance. Waking up that potential takes work, right? You got to keep striking with conviction until that fire finally bursts forth. Okay, so let's pull all these different threads together. It's kind of amazing. This one simple gesture, striking a spark, has been on this incredible journey, just soaking up more and more meaning at every stop. Think about it. The journey of this one little spark starts with this ancient idea of fire as pure. Then in Shinto, it becomes a protective shield. Esoteric Buddhism comes along and reimagines it as the Buddha's transforming wisdom. And then finally, Nichiren uses it as this powerful symbol for our own hidden potential and the grit we need to unlock it. And the coolest part? None of these layers cancel each other out. They all exist, right there, together in that single gesture. So when we look back at our original image, it looks completely different now, doesn't it? That brief little flash of light isn't just one thing anymore. It's speaking on all these different levels at the same time. It's purification, it's protection, it's wisdom, and it's the brilliant spark of our own incredible potential. And just when you think that's it, there's one last, beautiful little detail. The ritual is often done with 3 strikes: left, right, and center. And that's not random. It's meant to cover the entire space, to purify everything. And, beautifully, it also echoes the 3 jewels of Buddhism: the Buddha, the teachings, and the community. The fire in the stone really teaches us that sometimes the simplest acts can carry the most amazing stories. And it kind of leaves us with a question, doesn't it? What other simple rituals that we do every day, a handshake, raising a glass for a toast, a wave goodbye, what forgotten histories might they be carrying, just waiting for us to unpack them?